What is up, everybody? Welcome back yet again to your go-to destination for everything heavy. Today's a big day. We have Underneath's Joey Phillips. If you want to introduce yourself, maybe what you do in the band, who the band is a little bit, you know?
Gotcha. I am Joey Phillips. I play guitar and I do vocals for Underneath. I don't play guitar live. I do it on the recordings. We have an EP and two singles out right now. We're playing shows, we're doing all that shit. We've been together since like middle of last year. Metallic hardcore, wherever you want to, metalcore, deathcore, whatever you want to. I don't care. It's heavy music.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, I guess I'm here for the answering of the questions. I don't really got much else to say about that. But
all right, awesome. Well, before we go into the question section, I just wanted to say I'm an absolutely huge fan. Like I absolutely love your stuff. A couple of friends of mine listened to Nothing Here Is Held Sacred, like when it dropped, and I fell in love with it, dude. So if I'm a little nervous throughout the interview, like. Don't go too hard on me. You know what I'm saying?
No, I got you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say we're famous by any means, but we're definitely famous in that kind of underground, like online community right now.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
You said like a lot of people who are like terminally online. Like I'm assuming we both are. I'm
definitely.
Yeah, like a lot of people in the terminally online like heavy community have like heard about us, and I think that's like a cool thing because like I was on the Heaviest podcast. I don't know if you heard of those guys earlier this week.
Yeah.
And they were saying the exact same thing. Like they heard the EP like the week it came out, and I was like, how does random people like hear about this shit? But like, but that's who got us our streams. Like we're not that big on Spotify for nothing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I definitely love to see when newer bands are able to get out there solely from just word of mouth and people, really listening to it. And it definitely is a testament to how good the EP is, because I mean, I gotta say, I've been a metalhead all my life, but I was in a period in which I just wasn't feeling heavier music. But when I heard that, dude, it kind of like reset my palate,
Oh, I know what you mean. I've had a few records like that where you're just getting tired of like the metal sound for a little bit. You start experimenting with other genres, and then something just pulls you right back in.
Yeah,
I'm glad we were that for you, though.
Yeah,
I'm glad to be the person that pulled you back into it.
Yeah,
but I know exactly what you're talking about.
All right, so warm up question one, the one you hear in almost every interview. What are some of your musical inspirations? It could be you, could be Underneath as a band, but what are some artists that inspire you?
The Acacia Strain. That's like my biggest influence ever. Their new album is honestly their new album kind of like inspired me to like not keep going, but like to keep relentlessly pushing into the direction of sound that we're going into.
Nice.
The kind of like unrelenting like deathcore, hardcore, whatever, metalcore, whatever you want to call it. Like the unrelenting riffage, the non-compromising on like making sure every track is a banger and not just like trying to put filler on a record. That kind of like unrelentingness. You know what I mean?
I feel
another that. Like, are you asking like specifically vocally, musically? Like,
could be either or.
Musically, we try to take inspiration from all places because like I'm the main songwriter, so I kind of just like write whatever feels right in that moment. Whenever I'm like riffing it out.
Yeah,
doing demos and riffing everything out. As of recent, I've been getting back into Gojira because I was really big into Gojira back like when I first got into metal, right? But like specifically their older records, I like what they're doing right now. But like I think Terra Incognita, The Link, From Mars to Sirius, and The Way of All Flesh stand out to me as like big, like this cohesive like idea of what they were going for with that like very tribalistic death metal sound.
Yeah,
but which you don't hear a lot in like the death metal world, right? The death metal world is a lot of like slamming blast beats and like skank beats and like guttural vocals.
And I was gonna say when you mentioned Gojira, I was gonna say I do hear some Gojira in y'all's stuff, like in the kind of tribal-esque way,
Yeah. Like I don't know how deep you are into Gojira, but like The Link, especially the record, The Link is very slept on, but in my opinion is like their best record. It holds some of their most like a unique material. I think the whole album is like this tribalistic, like ayahuasca trip of a record. And I think a lot of people sleep on it because it is experimental. Right. But I think not to shout out other bands on an interview, but like, goddamn, like I think that record in particular is like what really made me like go for that like tribalistic sound,
That's awesome. Yeah.
like Neanderthal metal, like, going back to like the roots. Yeah. Like simple beats, but like in the context of like metal, you know what I mean? Like very like, swing beats and like very like dancey rhythms that kind of give you that like prehistory sound, very like, old. But yeah, definitely Gojira. I know I've been talking a lot on this question, but like Acacia Strain, Gojira, I mean, obviously like Jesus Piece, Knocked Loose, Boundaries, God Complex, and yeah, I could go on forever about my art influences, but like definitely like the Acacia Strain, Gojira, Fit for an Autopsy, especially the new Distinguisher. Their EP really rocked my world when that EP came out. Under the Weight of Things I Couldn't Change by Distinguisher. They broke up recently, but that EP, solid last release, kind of like gave us that like modern like how do I put it, like new hardcore, new metalcore, like NU, not NEW. It gave us that like kind of like spunk, that we wanted to like put into like our influences with
I feel that
EP. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I listen to a lot of music. I can go on forever.
Which of the new Acacia Strain albums do you think is better?
Oh, you can't do that.
I
mean, obviously, I listen to Step Into the Light more because it's an easier listen. The EP, I can't believe I forget the name of it. And Failure Will Follow. I reserve that for like when I'm like having night to myself. I got a drink in my hand and I want to go on a trip.
I feel that.
But I think for like casual listening and for like playlisting, definitely I like when like on a regular basis if I'm at work or something, I'll listen to like Step Into the Light more. But I think both of them are like, I know they had to be released together because they complement each other so well.
I personally liked dang, I always forget their names too. But
the one with the short songs, or the one with the long songs.
The one with the long songs, the more doomy one. Just because I like more like doomy, sludgy stuff,
Oh, I got you. That's
But yeah, both of them are amazing. So, you guys released y'all's debut EP, Nothing Here Is Held Sacred, earlier this year in January, and recently released a standalone double single, A Hungry Dog is an Obedient Dog, and Machiavellian. So I wanted to ask, what was the creative process behind both of those, and also, did they differ in any way between, the EP and the singles?
Yeah. So the EP was born out of like this first, because we were a different band before this. Not gonna plug that. We're done with that. I don't know. Don't really want anybody to kind of see see that stuff. It's still up. I'm not gonna tell anybody about it. But if you're like a real like, if you want to go find that, you can go find that. But we felt kind of this like resentment towards like the kind of blackened deathcore sound we were doing, and not because it was bad music, but just because like it felt stagnant. It felt like we weren't going to really get anywhere because every band was doing this in the deathcore scene. So we were like, all right. And then at that point, like around that time, whenever we decided to become Underneath, like A Tear in the Fabric of Life dropped, and what else dropped? Like Boundaries was getting big. And I mean big, like in between like Your Receding Warmth and Burying Brightness, like they were starting to hype up Burying Brightness with their tours, and we were like, and so we like out of nowhere this metallic hardcore influence started to come into my life, like out of nowhere, and that really like I was like, this is what we want to do, like this is like what I've been waiting for. And so you kind of hopped on that train, and that kind of influenced our sound while also retaining some of that like deathcore stuff. And like that, like again, like the tribalistic like sound we really like. The EP was kind of like an amalgamation of like where we were at the time. Definitely born out of resentment, but also like a drive to be something different and to like really like try and hone our sound away from like just trying to be another Fit for an Autopsy clone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a Lorna Shore clone, or like any like a big deathcore band, right? Because of course they have their niches and if they have their fan bases and they make great music, but it's like you can't just be another band, you know what I mean? And that's kind of like what we were doing before this release, and I feel like that was like kind of our mindset going into the EP. And then after the EP dropped, we had all that like recognition and like a lot of like underground support and a lot of like support from like people on the internet. We were like well, we got to follow that up with something. We can't just like do nothing for the next 2 years until we put out a record, right? Or like the next year. Whenever we're going to put that out. So we were like, shit, I guess we gotta like do something. And I'm like, double singles sound good. Because I'm like, I don't want to do another EP and then like kind of, be like, oh, there's 2 EPs by Underneath and the second one's better, the first one's better. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
So I'm like, we gotta like, I was like, let's just do 2 singles. And then around the same time, because like we got Jake Yenchik from Hazing Over on the second track. Around that time, like we were talking, those 2 singles were more born from like a want to like be more part of like hone that like metallic hardcore sound, like the kind of like Jesus PC, Knocked Loosey, Boundariesy, Endy, like that like unrelenting rage and aggression and just like fast riffs, beat breakdowns and like just nonstop, right? And so we wanted to do that for those singles, right? To like kind of release something that would be like just like mosh fodder, like something to get people going.
Yeah, and it definitely gets me going, dude.
Yeah, but not as much like resentment as the first record. Definitely like a more like a hopeful outlook and a more like just positive, like just doing this music for the sake of the music and doing it like heavy and just making good good metallic hardcore. That was kind of our thought process going into that one. And of course, we're forever grateful for Jake for being on that one. That like he really elevated Machiavellian as a track beyond what it could have been with like his delivery and like that whistle scream he does on that breakdown.
Dude,
like,
yeah.
It's like, oh, dude,
yeah.
that shit's so good. But yeah, that was like kind of our, that was kind of how that went.
That's awesome. Personally, I am a vocalist as well. And so I always, whenever I'm asking other vocalist questions, I always want to ask, the basic, how did you get into doing vocals questions? So,
oh my God.
How did you get into vocals?
Okay. So our first like band when we were like, 15, 16, I was doing like, it started with like Metallica, right? You're just trying to emulate James Hetfield as every early metal, vocalist does. And then from there, like, you discover like music with like, like metalcore and like deathcore and stuff. You discover screaming and it develops from there. But like, my journey's kind of been like doing vocals probably about like 5-6 years going on now. The development was kind of like a, just kind of just yelling at first, right? Like just kind of doing a yell and that would like kind of shred your voice. It kind of shredded my voice, right? Like, like if I would be like for the next few days, I would be like out of commission. And I'm like, we can't keep doing that. And eventually, I don't know how I do it. I kind of just know, like it's muscle memory at this point. So I'm not going to I don't really have any like other pointers to give anybody who's like listening for like screaming tips. My biggest thing is like, make sure it doesn't hurt. Like, of course your voice is going to be sore the next day. If you talk for a long time, your voice is going to be sore the next day. It's not just like about being sore. It's about like pain. Like if you're feeling pain while you're doing it, you're feeling pain afterwards, like you're definitely doing it wrong. And what I do now is kind of like, I think it's, if I had to, like, I think it's false chord. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm doing. I know it sounds
either,
good,
dude.
Yeah, no, I know it sounds good and it doesn't hurt. So like it's kind of what I keep doing. And people seem to like it, so I just keep doing what I'm doing.
So you guys are based in Pittsburgh, if I'm correct.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
From what I understand, there's a respectable scene up there, right?
Oh yeah, we got like Code Orange, 156 Silence, Hazing Over. Those are the big ones, and hopefully us. But when people mention Pittsburgh, metal and hardcore, I hope they mention us. But you know what I mean. Those are the big three, right? Of course, like Face Wreck is a big like rap core band, and they're based out of like that's the guy who owns like the big venue here, Preserving Underground. And like, of course, there's tons of like bands that I'm missing because I'm just not perfectly in tune with the scene. But like there's tons of shit coming out right now.
And so the question I wanted to ask is, would you guys say that your sound is at all influenced by bands in your scene or just being in your scene?
Yeah. So Hazing Over, formerly Shin Guard, they were like kind of like our biggest like push to like, become a part of that scene and like kind of like shed our old skin.
That's awesome.
Because Hazing Over, like, now that we're like kind of friends, like our acquaintances with the guys, it's like, we were kind of fanboys of them for a little bit before, like, we got him on a song and we saw him a few times. But definitely Hazing Over really influenced our like, our want to break out of that like that sound we were going for before. I mean, definitely. Code Orange, of course, too. That's the funniest one. Code Orange, the name of their Underneath. I don't know if anybody's ever put that together yet. We had a vinyl of Code Orange up on the wall Underneath. And we were like, shit, has anyone taken that as like a band name yet?
Really? Wow.
Yeah, we were just like, That's like how simple it was. It wasn't like, oh, like we are underneath everything, we're like beneath it.
Uh-huh.
Like, no, it was
Yeah.
just we saw Code Orange as underneath, and we're like, has anyone taken that as a band name yet? And we were like, no. So
Nice.
that's how that happened, and it's a good name. It's very
Mm-hmm.
memorable.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for like the one word names, you
Oh
know?
yeah, as much as I like two plus names, I
Mm.
think like it really helps you like define yourself and like make a brand for yourself if it's like a one word, easy to remember
Yeah.
like name.
So, from that question, do you think there are any ways that y'all as a band do things differently from other bands in your scene?
Like not to toot my own horn or not to be like like oh we're so
Hey, I mean,
cool and different
it's
or
your
like
interview. You can toot your
yeah
horn all you
not,
want, dude.
you not to be like oh we're so cool and different. We definitely try to incorporate more like silly shit or like funny riffs, like not like
Mm-hmm.
funny like just for funny, but like out of pocket riffs, like riffs that you wouldn't expect from like a modern metal band, like swing beats, like
Yeah.
Machiavelli, like dun, 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 like how's that riff in Machiavelli go? Dun 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 bun 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 bun, and then bum
I feel
bum
that.
like the swing
Yeah.
beats, like we try to incorporate more like out of the ordinary riffs and like try to like go out of the box a little bit while also
Mm-hmm.
maintaining our like while also sitting within the box nicely. You know what I mean? Like we want to be a part of the scene, and we don't want to be so different that it's like an avant-garde or a different type of
Mm-hmm.
music. But we definitely want to like incorporate some innovative ideas or like bring back older ideas that haven't been heard for a while. You know what I mean? Like again with the tribalistic stuff from early Gojira. Like I don't hear a lot of that in like modern music. There's a
Mm-hmm.
few maybe case choices, but like a lot of those like ideas like just aren't like expressed within this modern scene, and I think that's kind of what we're going for, is to bring that kind of like I guess like again tribalistic or like Neanderthal type like
Yeah.
shit we got going on. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just like stupid stuff, like stupid in a good way, like
Uh-huh.
simple, but like it's so simple that it's so good. You know what I mean? Like it's so easy to get, but it's so unique that like you've never heard it before. That's kind of the sound we're going for. Not to say we're unique and that nobody's ever heard us before, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. And like I like what you said about the like goofy stuff, you know? I love when bands do like stuff like that. Like you have a side project called Shelf, right?
Oh my god, how do you? Okay, yeah, shelf. I got shelf. Yeah,
I loved the single and
yeah. The single
how
I put,
it had the kung fu
the kung fu
fighting
fighting
riff.
sample. Yeah.
Bro, that I was amazed by that. That was so good.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was like a little thing I did in between. Like, I think I put that out. Like, was that after the? I think it was after the singles, or was it before the singles? I forget. Because I was like, I was kind of bored because we were kind of in between releases, and I was like writing that, and I'm like, I don't, that doesn't really fit with underneath. It's too goofy for like underneath,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was like, I'll just put it as a single and like started little side projects. So that might go somewhere, that might not.
Yeah.
Thank you for shouting out Shelf though. I forgot. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, that song has been in my playlist for quite like ever since it dropped. So, this next one is a fan question. How would you describe your music and sound without using any existing genres?
Heavy, heavy music. Because that's like the thing. We don't want to be put into a box in like that same way that I'm assuming like that person's like talking about, right? Like we don't want to be put into like like oh we're deathcore, oh we're metalcore, oh
Mhm.
we're hardcore, oh we're metallic hardcore. It's like yeah, like we fit into that like a category, I guess. Like we're associated with like those kinds of bands. But like as far as our music goes, I'd say it's definitely more metal, like metal influenced with like hardcore thrown in. But like to use no terms that are used in any other genres, like I guess like
Yeah,
we
that's
just
kind
make
of a
heavy,
hard
we just
question,
make
yeah.
heavy caveman music.
Yeah,
You know
caveman
what I
music.
mean?
I like that. Yeah. I
Caveman
like
core.
that. One of the two recent singles, like you said, Machiavellian, features Jake Yentick of Hazing Over. So I guess I can lead that into my next question, which is if you could get a feature from anyone or collaborate with anyone, who would it be?
I mean, there's a lot of people I would like love to get on a track. Like no, like of course, I mean Vincent Bennett is like obviously the dream, but like Vinny Benny, Aaron Hurd from Jesus Piece would go crazy.
That would.
What else? Like, there's so many bands that I'm like influenced by that would like Matt from Boundaries is one that we like really want to get on. Those are the big ones, obviously, but I could go on forever. I would love to get every band that I have ever loved
Yeah.
on a track with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But definitely like Vincent Bennett, Aaron Hurd. Matt from Boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Honeycutt would be dope from Kubla Khan. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
I could go on forever, but like,
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm recording an album right now, and I've just been going crazy trying to get like a feature on every single song, just because I'm like, there's so many people I want to collaborate with.
no,
So I
dude,
definitely
I would
feel
love to
that.
collaborate with every artist ever. You know what I mean? Like, I love doing it.
Yeah. So this is a personal question that I wanted to ask, but who runs the Instagram account?
Me and our bassist Jaden. That's like the two. We're the two people that mostly run it. I mostly run the Twitter, but we both run the Instagram.
So I noticed that a lot of times y'all will post alongside your like announcements, also like goofy stuff like memes and stuff like that. And so I wanted to ask who in the band is the biggest memer?
I think me and Jaden would argue about who is the biggest. I think we would have a fight over
Yeah.
who is the biggest. I think we like constantly compete to see who's the biggest. Definitely both of us. Like we argue. Like
Mhm.
we try to one up each other with the posts. Like we see
Yeah.
like a funny post, there'll be like another post the next day that's trying to one up that last post with like how goofy it is. And that
Yeah.
like goes back to like trying not to take ourselves too seriously as artists.
Mhm.
Like of course I take my art seriously, and of course I want to take my music seriously. But like I feel like if I take myself too seriously, I'll end up like an old boomer band, and
Yeah.
I'll be Metallica and thinking I'm still the shit, even though we're like 80 and playing the same songs we've been playing for like 40 years. And, not to
Yeah.
rip on the new Metallica record, but
I agree.
I'm
I
not going to go out
agree.
of my way to
Yeah.
listen to it. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
The
Yeah.
first four records will still hold up, but, not taking ourselves too seriously is a big like priority for us. It
Mhm.
also allows us to not get a big head. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I feel that a lot.
And the memeing helps.
Oh, definitely, dude.
Keeps us down to earth.
The next question I wanted to ask was about the album artwork. Where did those come from? Because I think they're like really cool.
Oh, that's from oh my god, wait, I don't want to say it wrong. The EP one is from Datura AD. His name is S Doloria Blackwolf. He's on Instagram. He's an indigenous artist, I think, and he does a lot of that kind of like portrait, but like super distorted and like super
Mm-hmm.
like disgusting and like just really like horrific stuff. And like we were like scrolling through his Instagram account, and it was like a really far back one, and we saw that and we were like, well, that would fit really perfect. It looks like someone just got hit with a nuclear bomb, so we should like, and like the EP is very thematically and like sonically and very atmospherically and sonically, like that whole EP sounds like you're in like a nuclear hellscape, right? And
Yeah,
like,
I
and that's
feel
what kind
that.
of what I was going for with like a lot of the sampling, which I can't say or I'll get copyrighted. Because if they find out, then they'll like sue me. But
Oh,
like, there's a lot of
dang. Yeah.
ambience in that
Mm-hmm.
EP that isn't ambience, and it's some stuff from a movie that I can't say. A nuclear related movie that uses like used a lot of ambience from that. So like using that like artwork from him was a very like important thing to us because we love his artwork. And then for the EP, not the EP, the singles, that was Freak Dot Fright on Instagram. I think it's Luis Perez. I can't pronounce that last name. Not even gonna try. He makes really good stuff. Super like unhinged, very crazy stuff. And we saw that one. We were like, well, we got to use that one. And so we did, and we hit him up, and we got the licensing for it. It wasn't very like we need like to find something that fits with the sound. Well, it was that. It wasn't like we were like commissioned anything to fit the sound. It was like we went out and tried to find something that fit with what we were hearing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I usually don't come up with like album artwork ideas beforehand. I kind of just try to go like get someone else to do that, or try to find someone else's artwork that fits with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And we're a big proponent of not throwing our album covers on anything just because. On our album covers, we're not a big proponent of throwing our like logo on anything just because.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think our logo would have fit on the EP or the singles anywhere, so we just never did it. We were like, well, we'd rather have like a clean EP cover or a clean like
Yeah.
singles cover than have our logo on it taking up space. Then like people will know who we are if they're listening to it. They have
Mm-hmm.
Spotify, they have Apple Music.
I personally don't really like seeing logos on album covers,
As of recent, especially.
Yeah, yeah, because it's almost like, especially with the boom of AI album covers, it's almost
Yeah.
like you get this almost too perfect looking album cover, and then like a kind of weak looking logo just kind of slapped on top of it. It's
Yeah,
not
I know
really
what you mean.
made to have a logo on it.
Like it's not like it's part of the artwork. It's more like it's just to sell the song, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
the artwork's part of the music. It's part of the whole cohesive like experience that you get. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not to rip into AI art too much, but you will never see Underneath using AI art in any aspect of our music.
And that's completely respectable. Y'all guys have an upcoming show with Wretched Tongues, Snakefather, Belvebeth, and King of Nothing on the 22nd, right?
Yes.
So I wanted to ask, for fans who have yet to see you live, what does an Underneath show look like? What can they expect?
You better be moving. First of all, if you're not moving, we don't like that. You even if you're just like, I don't care. Like, listen, I'm not like I'm not like a mosh guy. Like, I don't want you. Like, you don't have to mosh. I get it. It's not for everyone. But if you're like standing there and you're not moving, you're not nodding your head, I'm gonna be like, don't like you. You're not buying merch. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Nah, but seriously, like, you come to our shows, like, expect to like move. We have a pretty tight set. It's mostly all of our songs minus one, which is I think we just don't play the last track off of the EP because it's really long,
Mhm.
and B, it's the least heard of all the tracks. So it's like, we just kind of skip it. But if you come to our shows, pretty hectic, pretty crazy. We like to throw down, and we're
Yes,
pretty,
sir.
we like to crack jokes. It's a good time.
Yeah, I
Yeah, we
like
don't take
that.
ourselves too seriously, but don't expect a big budget either. We keep it like a little low. We're not like crazy big bands, lights or anything.
Sometimes I think that's a bit better, just a more raw experience.
Yeah, we're
You
very
know?
raw.
I like that. So, this is the last question, second to last question. But out of the Underneath discography, what is your favorite song that you've made?
Yes, that's a hard one. My personal favorite, like if I had to like listen to my own music, which is rare, but if I had to listen to my own music, I would listen to like, I don't know. I'll just say Machiavellian.
Okay.
Close second
Yeah.
one. Close second one be Cud.
Okay. Yeah.
To play live though, it would probably be Cud. Cud's the the most fun to play live, just because of that
Dude.
hype chorus. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like he's like once you get to that chorus and it's like dun 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 dun. It's like, oh, dude, you can't not move to that one. You know what I mean? It's like a
Yeah.
dance beat. You can't. It's so good.
Yeah, bro. I oftentimes listen to music while editing videos, and I'll throw that EP on. And whenever it gets to Cud, dude, I gotta stop. I gotta stop. I gotta get out of the chair, start moving a little bit. It's hype. It's hype.
It is a very hype song, which is it perfectly encapsulates our whole sound. I think Cud is like a very like it covers all the bases of our like sound or like our sound so far. But we'll see.
Yeah. I feel like as a band, you're always growing, and between the EP and the singles, I definitely feel like y'all are growing in a direction that is just gonna it's just gonna be amazing,
Yeah, you don't even know. There's some stuff that's cooking. I think you'll be very happy.
Nice. Personally, my favorite song of y'all's is 20,000 Leagues Under the
20,000
Sea.
Leagues. I knew you were
I
gonna
love
say
that song, dude.
My God has abandoned me, and shall be 20,000 leagues under the sea.
That's what a lot of people say. That they're like, dude, I
Yeah.
love Leagues, and I'm like,
Well,
yeah,
it's just
good
that
song.
breakdown, dude. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
the way it just opens with that riff, very
Yeah.
pretty hype. That's a hype, dude. Every track on that record, not to toot
For
my own
real.
horn, but every track on that EP is pretty hype.
For real, dude. And like it's like really awesome to like your own music, And from what
Which
I've
is one of
seen,
the
you
things I
like your
try
own
to-
music.
Yeah, it's one of the things I try to like make sure is like if I don't like what I'm writing, like I'm not gonna use it. I have to like it before I put it out. I
Yeah.
have to be honest with myself. And if I write something that's just not hidden or it's not like good enough, I'll just be like scrap it. Like
Yeah.
I'll come up with something. And that's kind of like the process I've been going in, like getting better and better and trying to like write better and better riffs and like not that there are parts on the EP that I would go back and change, but like definitely we're like trying to hone our sound more than we did on the EP. Because the EP is kind of like an amalgamation of all of our influences.
Yeah.
We kind of want to narrow it down a little more, like and focus and make it more like just even like take the best parts and elevate them even further.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's all the questions we have. So to lead it out, I just wanted to ask, what can we expect to see from Underneath in the future, A
lot more shows, a lot more. Hopefully there'll be merch drops coming soon. I know people have been asking me. I know there'll be merch drops soon, and hopefully some bigger show opportunities. I know that Chamber knows of our existence now. I know that Orthodox knows of our existence, which is always cool. Oh my God, that'd be sick. But anyways, hopefully to get signed to a record label too. That's the next big goal too. Record label, smaller record label. Playing shows, getting our name out there, making money, doing what we love, writing more music, the usual. Just being true to ourselves, just doing what we do.
And Semper Metallum, we always gonna promote the boys. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I got
like
you.
We're always gonna try and help like bands out, to get out there a little bit more.
I was very thankful that none of you guys put the singles above Knocked Loose's singles, because that would have been a travesty.
Yeah. I'm
even
just saying.
Even if inside you felt it and you didn't say it out loud, thank you.
I think, if I'm honest, if the singles had dropped a little earlier in the month, I maybe would have put it above Knock Loose. But I think Knock Loose just had a little longer to grow on.
You're saying that on the internet? You're going to get...
I'm saying that on the internet.
You're going to get a shit shootout, dude.
Hey, if anyone's okay with it, it's me, No,
I got you. Thanks.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all the questions I got. So thank you so much for, doing this with us. Super excited for everything that the band has coming. I've never done one of these outros before, so
I got you. I don't do a lot of interview outros myself, so I think I'll let you handle that one.
All right. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the interview, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment down below. Leave some support for the Underneath boys. Also, check out Semper Metallum on all social medias. Links are down in the description below. Also, check out Underneath. Y'all are basically everywhere, right?
Yeah, we are on everything. Also, Bandcamp. Bandcamp's important.
Bandcamp's important. Friday, buy their stuff.
Real.
All right. Thank you so much. And bye, viewers.